Hello, it's me again. I'm back after a break. Right, okay, so here we are. Happy New Year, folks. Hope you had a nice little Christmassy break or holiday break for your American cousins. Yeah, so little bits and bobs to go through tonight. I've been busy building a mod. Anyway, as always, let's get the titles out of the way, shall we? Here we go, clicky click.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Did we like those? I spent some time at the weekend and made some new titles. Do let me know what you think. I've got another one as well I might actually put in some point. Yeah, I thought I'd be a bit creative. So, where do we want to start today then? Well, did anyone get anything nice for Christmas? Vaping wise. I did put a tweet out earlier for anyone to actually get back to me on that one, but No one got back to me. So if you're in chat and you got something nice, do let me know, because I like to have a little chat about things people got for Christmas. I myself got, and I didn't think to prepare myself. Oh no, there we go. I got sent by Mr. Chainmaker, or Gareth, some vape grips. He actually sent me another packet as well, some smaller ones, but they're in my bag somewhere. And very nice of him. I do already have a set, actually. He gave me some before, and rather handy little devices. They're literally nothing more than a strip of rubber. Just get them out of the bag. I haven't actually used these ones yet. They're fresh. Yeah. A couple of rubber strips, and I've got my name on one of them. Hang on, let's go do a close yappy and I'll show you. There we go, you can see it says Matt. Isn't that nice? So yeah, what you can do with these, they're very handy. For example, if you've got something that won't come off, you just wrap this round and they give you a nice bit of grip, and they give you an absolute decent amount of grip there. Very good things. You know what? I don't have the details to hand of how to get hold of him, but they're pretty inexpensive, to be fair. Hang on, there's a sticker on there, which would have helped if I... There we go. Is that visible? No, it's not. Okay, fair enough. But it's Aurora Vape. Aurora.vapeuk@gmail.com. Aurora spelt AURORA. And then .vape.uk. But yeah, give them a shout. They're great little things. I'll go into more depth about them at some other point, but I just wanted to do a show and tell. And just have a quick look at chat. Basically, the first segment of this, I want to catch up with chat because it's been a couple of weeks now. So Rob thinks his DNA 40 is finally in the UK. Leanna Lourdes has got a Subtank Atlantis arrived today with a 30ml bottle of 4mg pineapple freebie. What's a pineapple freebie? And and Leanna Lourdes' DNA 40 is due near the end of the month. Are you getting yours from UK e-cigs store by any chance? Yes, Max, I know it's a bit bright under the camera there. Not much I can do at this point in time, really. So I've actually got an RDNA Vapor Shark RDNA 40 on pre-order from UK e-cigs store as well, and that's probably not going to come till until the end of this month. So you have a pain, but there we go. Shapeways Gripper 3. You know what? I don't know what that is. And Graham Gord's cut an old serpentine belt up to make some vape device gripping tools. Yeah, you could do that, and you can use big rubber bands or marigolds. But you know, it's a nice little vaping device, isn't it? Adds to your toolbox. Yeah, let's have a quick scroll through chat. Oh, there we go. Alright, Rob's DNA 40 is from Elegant Vapor. Okay, yeah, I know they were doing pre-orders as well. I do have another DNA 40 device that arrived yesterday, but I'm not going to show that this week. I'm going to show that next week, because I haven't really used it yet. Even though a DNA 40, you know, you've used one, you've used them all, but that's kind of not the point. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I suppose I better crack on with this, hadn't I? It's a sneaky peek. I'll be showing that in a little while. I'll tell you what, first, let's have a little chat about Subtanks and Atlantis, shall we? I bought myself an Atlantis just before Christmas, because I hadn't got one, and at that point I already had 2 Subtanks. So I thought, yeah, okay, maybe I should get myself an Atlantis to give it a fair comparison. And you know, we saw the Subtank on Marco's show last night, and we saw the Subtank on Dave's show before Christmas, and a brief look at it at my show as well just before Christmas. Very brief. I literally just unwrapped it on air and filled it up and vaped it, and this is that exact one. Still the same coil, actually. And still performing decent. Still the same juice, still the same coil. Well, I've topped the juice up a few times. In fact, I've probably run about 50-60 mil through this now. And it does work superbly well. And changes your voice. Yeah, so really, really happy with the Subtank. And I'm not going to show that mod again at the minute, but that's got the Subtank and RDA mode, or RBA they inexplicably call it, on there. But I do have another one with an OCC coil in it, and I got this one yesterday. That's my 3rd one. You can tell I like them, can you? Right, so let's have a quick vape on this, and this is at 23 watts, and I've got the 1.2 ohm coil in this. I'm sitting on top of a e-cigs Supreme. Very nice indeed. And not exactly shy on the vapour, is it? Now, on top of my Beck Pro, I've got an Atlantis with exactly the same juice in it. And this is running at, you know, I forget what wattage this is running at now. Output, set it to that. At 26 watts. Again, decent amount of vapour. So let's compare that again with the Subtank. In fact, to give it a fair comparison, let's put this up to 26 watts as well. This could take a moment. No, that's now 27. 26. That's on fully open drawer, by the way, as is the Atlantis. So the Atlantis does produce slightly more vapour. Now I say again, I've got exactly the same juice in both of these, exactly the same. Different ohmage, of course, but you know that's why I'm using variable wattage. It kind of makes up for that. But the flavour on the Subtank is, in my opinion, better. Oh, hang on. I've just seen an interesting question in chat. Lamental. Have a question. Do people think promoting, displaying, praising big clouds and low ohms is detrimental to the future of vaping? Maybe, depending on how you're going about it. I don't generally go out anywhere and produce massive clouds personally. I generally do this sort of thing in my own home. I mean, I certainly wouldn't take this into work with me, where I technically shouldn't vape anyway. You know, that's just silly. So, no, I would take something like the K-Fun. You know, which, again, still produces a decent amount of vapour, but you can tone it down a bit, you know. That's my work vape. Yeah. That's how I'd vape at work. You know, or possibly in more polite company, you would say. You know, where I need to put it refrained. But my personal view now, not necessarily the views of the rest of the VCTV team, but my personal views on, say, for example, competition vaping and massive billowing clouds and sub-ohming, that sort of thing. Personally, I don't think it's going to help the vaping cause itself. It will attract people to it in some way, shape or form, because there's always going to be people that like the competition aspects of anything, you know. I mean, there's been extreme mining before now, you know. So, but in the eyes of politicians and our would-be benefactors, shall we say, I don't think that will go down well. But you know, that's my view. I appreciate a big cloud and that sort of thing, and I find it great fun. But that's not the reason why I vape. And I can only really talk my own personal views on that one. So yeah, anyway, where was I? Yeah, I was comparing, wasn't I? So, for me then, the Subtank wins out on flavour. I've been doing a lot of this the past day. An awful lot. Just side-by-side vaping. And I'll tell you what, it makes me a bit thirsty as well. I like the Atlantis and I can see why it's popular. But would I buy another one? And the answer is no. I wouldn't. Whilst the flavour is good, and don't get me wrong, and for a clear miser, it's excellent flavour, excellent. The vapour production, if that's what you're after, is also excellent. The biggest downside for me is it only holds about 2 millilitres of juice. You know, when you're producing that much in the way of vapour, that's not really a lot of runtime, is it? Where the Subtank in the OCC mode, I believe it holds around about 6-7 mil. So that runs out. But of course, you've got the fact it's a 25mm device, which kind of takes the edge off that a bit as well. Although there are going to be coming out a mini and a nano as well. The mini is going to be a 22mm device, and the nano is 18mm. The nano definitely will not have a rebuildable section for it. I don't know if the mini will or not, but personally, I'm not that interested in them. I'm happy enough with the 25mm device. Yes, it looks a bit weird on something like this, where you got the lump there, but you stick it on a box mod. I mean, here it is on top of a Vapor Shark with the 22 to 25mm cone there. I think that looks alright, to be fair. It's a bit top heavy, but I'm happy with it. Right. So, I don't know. They're both fairly cheap. I mean, the Subtank's what, 30 quid. The Atlantis is 20 or 25 quid, something like that. So, you know, they're not expensive, and either one you buy you're going to get a good vape out of it, you know. But the Subtank wins for me simply because it's you know, it's more versatile as well. You know, you can start off with the OCC coils, and are very, very good coils. I've not had a single problem with them yet at all. I think I've only used 2, but perfectly happy with them. And I can vape all day on one, you know. And I've been rebuilding for a couple of years, 2-3 years now, so that's fine. But yeah. But you know, the versatility's there. So if you want to start with the OCC coils and then move up to the rebuildable section, it's there in one package. That's fantastic to me. I'm just going to have a quick look at chat. And Jester 2109 and Atlantis tank lasted me a full journey along the M4 from Swansea to London, so that ain't bad. I'm going to test that on Saturday morning, so I'm driving from Bridgend to Kent, which is a bit further. But yeah, I might test that. Although I might fog up the car so much, I won't be able to see where I'm going, so I have to be a bit careful. And Hi-Fi Stud mentions that competition vaping, it varies between US and UK, I reckon. US is more competition vaping aware than the UK, in my opinion. He's right there, although I did read on UK Vapors the other day, some brick competition vape is now being sponsored by Amerivape or something or the other. You're getting paid to vape? Okay, fine. You know, I suppose I'll take it if I could. The Analorus thinks that 12mg of Atlantis would be a bit too much. Possibly. I've only got 6mg in my stuff, but I vape 6mg anyway. I think I've gone over this before, actually. The reason I vape 6mg is because I was running low on nicotine base and I wanted to eke it out a bit more. And by happy coincidence, I got used to 6mg. The wife is on 6mg, and for a long time she didn't realise she was on 6mg. She thought she was on 18. I just kept dropping her nic level because I wanted to eke out my base. I didn't tell her. And she never said a word. Although I eventually told her, she went, oh, alright. Yeah. There we go. I might take the adverts a couple of minutes early because I've got a bit of VT I want to show next, and that goes on for about a quarter of an hour. So, yeah, we'll do that. Let's get the ad break, first ad break out, shall we? Alright, I'll see you in a moment.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Healthy Vape, UK purveyor of e-cigarettes and e-liquids. Proud sponsors of vaping entertainment on Vapor Trails TV.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
And we're back, and as you can see there, I have received a tweet from Vaping Juggler, who is apparently fashionably late for VTTV Gave, and he's good to see me again. He's clearly unhinged. During the ad break there, I was having a quick read through chat, and Neil Robinson actually raised his wife's nick level up a little bit because she was getting ratty all the time. He's all nice and calm now. Maybe I should try occasional slipping her an 18mg just to calm her down if she ever gets a bit tetchy. There we go. And oh, Ridian knows a lady that drips 24mg. Fair enough. There we go. Right, yeah, anyway, I've got some VT, haven't I? So, I'm going to sit back and relax and enjoy this. It's going to last about a quarter of an hour, so put your feet up, have a little bit of a vape, and I'll see you in a short while. Okay, so this is part one of the build then. So what I've got, let's have a quick inventory check. So I've got myself here a basic project box. Okay, just a plastic one. You can get metal ones as well, but I thought a plastic one would be easy to work with since it's the first time I've really ever done this, at least fully. So okay, I've got myself a dual 18650 battery holder. Now these are currently basically two singles, so you can either wire this up in parallel or series. Now for a DNA board you need to wire these up in parallel. Series is no good, so what you do, parallel will give you the extra battery life. Series would stack the voltages on top of each other, so two 4-volt batteries would become an 8-volt battery. But on the other side of the coin, if you have two 2000 milliamp hour batteries in parallel, you've actually got 4000 milliamp hours. Okay, so that's how that works, but the voltage would remain at 4 volts or whatever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to basically connect back here for the focus point. I'm going to connect here to here and here to here, and so here would be positive, here would be positive, there would be negative, and there would be negative, so the batteries both face the same way up in polarity wise, and that would mean it's then a parallel connection. So that's going to fit in the box thusly. You know, I'm basically going for the planning phase at the moment, so I need to be very careful on how this all fits together. So I'm not Gary Dibley. I'm not an old hand at this. So that's gonna sit in that corner down here. And now my hope is, now I've gone for the DNA 40 with the big screen on this build. So there's the screen. It is a separate thing there, and here is the actual board. So now I'm fairly confident that's going to fit in there quite happily. It's a bit of a tight fit, to be fair, but that will fit quite nicely. So that's good. That's good news. Okay, so we got that far, and then, well, let's say this is the top of the mod here. So basically what I want to do, actually it doesn't really matter, does it? I'll pop that there, and then I have the screen thusly across there. That probably needs to go down a little bit more actually. So let's pop the board there. That will be lovely, I think. So let's just put this back in this little protected box at the moment because I'm paranoid about handling these things. I shouldn't be, I know, but I am. Okay. Bear with me, I'm just popping it away. Last thing I want to do, I've only got the one board at the moment, so the last thing I want to do is break it. So yeah. So basically that would mean, so if the screen is sitting here, that would mean I need to cut. Seems my mat's a little bit juicy. You probably can't see that actually, but I will need to cut a slot here for the display. That's part of the reason why for a plastic box it's just a bit easier to work with. I can just cut a rough rectangle there and I can file it all out. Okay, so we got that far. So now I need to worry about the switch. So if we're saying the screen is here, that will give me enough clearance now for my main fire button. Yeah, easily enough clearance. So that's going to sit on this side. Now I've got two uppy downy control switches here, which I'm just going to pop. I'll get my hands out of the way. I'm just going to pop on the sides here, just one above the other. So I'm going to vertically put these. So basically that and that, or thereabouts, and the firing switch. I'll put it upside down because I'm not going to balance it on the two prongs. So that's basically the layout. Okay, a bit more central, but you get the idea. And then I've got myself a bit of cotton in the box. I've got myself a Fat Daddy Vapes version 4 connector, which is a spring-loaded connection. It's actually really, it's a nice piece of kit, this. Lovely, really lovely, and it's really solid. And the great thing about these is that this is the 22mm adapter. This is the 16mm it comes with. You just literally screw them on, and you can get a 30mm as well. And the great thing is you can change this after putting it in. So you can, I'll just go, I need 16mm today, I'll just pop that on there. It's really nicely thought out. Also really easy to actually use as well. You've got a hole in the middle there for your positive lead, and you've got a mount point here for your negative. So that's all good. All I need to do literally is just drill a hole in the top and just screw that in. It couldn't be any easier. So that's going to be sitting there central. Okay, so happy with that. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get myself some masking tape. I'm going to use a permanent marker to draw in here wherever when I want everything to be. I'm not going to film me doing that. I'll do a video after I've marked it all out, and then I'm going to crack on and start cutting things. So there we go. Okay, right. Here we can see then I've actually done that little bit of a rough marking out. So I've popped the battery holder in there, and I've just drawn around it roughly. The gaps are obviously where the these prongs are. So it gives me an idea of where it's going to be mounted anyway. I've not marked out the position of the DNA board yet because, well, I don't particularly want to put that in there and draw around it with a marker. I'm going to get a bit of paper and cut that to the same sizes as the DNA 40 board and screen. I'm going to place those in here so I get a better idea. I won't bother to video that bit, but you get the idea. Like, so bloody cotton. Right. So what I've done, I've crossed off the top there to get a central point on the top for the 510 connector, and on the side here you can see what I've done. I've drawn a line down the centre, and so that's where my firing button is going to go. And these two here, ignore the one in the middle, these are where the up and down switches are going to go. Okay, so that's coming together quite nicely, I think. I still need to think about something to do with this. This is where it's obviously is on the sprue for the moulding. You know, I'm not going to be able to put the firing switch there because it's going to hit where the battery is. There's no way around that. So I'll probably end up putting a sticker over it or something, or maybe I'll think about some sort of coating. If you've got any suggestions, then feel free to let me know. But right, what I'm going to do is, well, not right at this moment, because I'll tell you what it is. At the moment, it's actually 2:23 AM on Thursday the 25th of December, or Christmas morning. I'm quite keen to get started on this, but I don't think my whole life would be worth living if I started to drill and use the Dremels and power tools at this time of the morning. So I'm going to sit and take it easy for a few hours, and when the missus gets up, I'm cracking on. But yeah, I'll probably sit and do the DNA 40 mark out here. But yeah, essentially the screen is going to be there. I would have preferred a black box, I guess, but you know, blue's alright, that's fine. Anyway, yeah, I'll see you in the next bit while I start in cutting stuff. Okay then, right, so here we got an update. Quick vape, I've been busy. Obligatory vape in front of the lens. Right, okay, so I was going to film myself cutting all these holes out, but I took a camera downstairs, the battery's flat, and I thought, I've just got to crack on with this. So here's the end result. So what I've done then, as I marked out, I've drilled a hole in the top. There's a hole in the side. That's for the switch, the up and down. And I've cut out a slot there. It's not particularly neat, I know. What I did, I cut out 4 holes. I drilled out 4 holes and I used a Dremel to cut across. Probably not the best idea, but you know, it's the first time I built something like this, so it's a learning experience, and it adds character, as they say. So then, right, let's have a look at these components then. So here's the switch. That just simply just flops in there, and all I need to do is just secure this nut, which is a bit fiddly here. There we go. So that will fit in there. Now here's the Fat Daddy 510. It's got the 22mm end on it. So that is simply just going to pop in the end there, like so. And then there's a washer and whatnot to secure that in. I'm not going to bother that because it's going to come out in a moment. Now also what I've done, I've used part of an old DVD case, you know, the clear bit of plastic that holds the actual labelling. So what I've done, I've used some super glue and I just glued over the window there, so that will protect the screen. That will afford some protection there. So happy days. Right, so my next job now is to get the 18650 turned into a parallel. Get that secured in there. I shall wire up the DNA board. I should put all the wires on it before I put it in here. Now one thing I'm going to do actually, I'm actually going to put in the wires required for the USB adapter. I haven't got the USB charging adapter, but I'm going to put the wires on there so I can, if I so desire, I can just pop one in. You know, maybe I should have thought of that beforehand, but yeah, I forgot. But you know, this isn't exactly too hard to take apart because it's 2 batteries. It's not going to need changing that often, maybe on a daily basis. You know, depends how much usage it gets. So I'm going to wire the board up first, and then I'm going to place it in, connect it all up that way, rather than wiring on the board when it's in place, because I don't think my soldering skills are up to that. Now, I was going to film myself doing the soldering, but the thing being, I'm not the world's greatest at soldering, so I think it best if I don't film it, because the last thing I want to be doing is actually concentrating on what the camera's seeing and doing the soldering at the same time. So apologies you expected me to do some soldering on the camera, but what I'll do, I'll film little bits and bobs here and there just as a quick update, but I won't actually do any soldering on the camera. Right then, so next step, the 18650. And check back, by the way, the time now since the last one is actually 6:15 in the evening now on Christmas Day. I've been having to do other stuff, so this is not going to get finished for Christmas, no way. I'm going away for a couple of days, so it will be a few days before this is finished. But hey ho, it keeps me occupied. So I'll see you in the next update then. Okay, here we are. I kind of got a bit carried away, and after I did all the soldering, I've got a couple of pictures I'll insert. You'll probably have seen it before this part, or I'll insert it now. Yeah, it's very, very fiddly to do, but doable if you've got a lot of patience. Underneath here is the DNA board underneath, and lesson number 1 I learnt was put the bloody board in the right way round when you're measuring it. I had it, because I was looking at a diagram, I made a stupid mistake of wiring the board up the other way round, so the screen would have faced into the box here, which wasn't exactly what I wanted. So yeah, I had to adjust the positioning slightly of the switch. I had to raise it up, and hence the securing nut is on the outside to hide the gap. But it works and it's there. It will work on a single battery and dual battery. I've just got a single battery here for the moment, so just to prove a point, pop that in there, and excuse the juice, because everything on my desk is covered in juice. Right, if I press the fire button, you can see in that, I know the cutout isn't exactly tidy, but I might put some sort of vinyl covering over this just to neaten up a bit. But you know, it's my first mod, and I am as pleased as punch. Let's just get... Yeah, I've got a knackered old Carto. I'll just stick that on top. And if I'm honest, I've not actually tested this firing yet. I have test fired it. Oh. Right. I'll beat that bit out. Check atomizer. Okay. That's interesting, because it did fire. Yeah. I'm starting to get a little worried now. Alright, it does work. And there we can see it in temperature control mode. I know it's not particularly clear on this screen there because of the glare. But this is the DNA 40 big screen. And yeah, the up and down buttons will work. It's a bit sticky, I've got to sort that out actually. But the up button works quite nicely. So there we go. That's my first mod that I made, and I'm happy. So yeah, I'm really chuffed. So there we go. That's what I got up to when I had the chance over the Christmas break. So yeah, I had chats just going, "Where's the Huntu come from?" I swore, so I covered it up because I'm a good boy. Sometimes. Yeah, so as you can see, I made a few errors in the build. Nothing massively drastic. But, you know, it's my first mod. So, and I'm perfectly happy with it, and I've been using it since I built it. There's nothing quite like vaping on something you made yourself. It does bring a whole new dimension to it. It's quite something. I'm not Gary Dibley, so I don't do a nice, neat and perfect job. But I'll learn. You know, this is not going to be the only one I build. I'm going to do another one. And maybe a few more. So, and maybe at some point I'll actually film myself soldering. I knew I would have problems with the soldering. That's one area I'm never particularly confident on. And I've got to be honest, I'm very, very chuffed to have managed to pull it off. But I think I mentioned in the video, when I sized the board up, wasn't thinking quite straight, and I put the boards with the buttons facing up. The buttons are actually built onto the board, facing up into the mod. So yeah, this is the back, okay, and this is the front. Now you need to have the buttons facing this side in order for the screen to be the correct way around. Now I put it in so it's all flipped around the other way, and I just didn't think of it. And I was looking at all the data sheet, you know, where all the pins go and everything else, and where you put the wires. So that one there on the top left, that's my power up button positive, and then next to that's power up button negative, and so I just went ahead and I just soldered each wire in, you know, massive length of wire, so I can trim it down to size later, and place it in. I think, oh. Yeah, it needs to be the other way around, doesn't it? So I had to painstakingly desolder it all and then put it all the other way around. But, you know, it's a learning curve. And believe me, if I can do it, give it a go. And I'd say I did actually mean to tally up all the price. It probably cost me around about 70 quid to build that. 70 quid for a dual 18650 DNA 40 box mod. You know, you can't buy one that cheap, pre-made. Fairly obviously, because someone's got to spend the time on making it. But if you do it yourself, you know, give it a go. If you know, just take your time with it. I may have rushed it a little bit. I was so keen to get this done. I really was looking forward to doing this, and I've got to be honest, I've been chomping a bit to show you guys this tonight as well, because I'm so happy with the result of it. I know there's going to be people out there and go, "Oh, yeah, well, it's not very good. You didn't do a very good job cutting out the window." Yeah, I didn't. But you know what? It's mine. I made it. So there we go. Adverts, and then I'll give you a little live tour of it. Okay? So ad break number 2 coming up. Here we go.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Award-winning service and products from cloud9vaping.co.uk.
Vapers, do you love discovering new e-liquids? Tell Dripper the types of flavours you like and they'll send you 5 gourmet juices each month. Experience new and exclusive flavours, all with a money-back guarantee and free delivery anywhere in Europe. Dripper.co.uk.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of VapeTrails.tv.
And we're back, and I must say thanks to the some of the nice messages on chat there. You know, the flaws. VB says the flaws remind you of your advice. He's right; they do. You know, it's personal. It's personal to me. There is no other mod like it in the world. You know, some people strive for exclusivity. So, as I say, I'm really happy with it, and it's, you know, it's superb. Anyway, let's go to close Yappy Cam. And apologies, I know this is a bit bright, but there we go. So let's first look at the my lovely cutout here. Now this is the DNA 40 big board. I know you can't make it out very well, but you can see it's set for 20 watts, and you can also see the battery level. And above that you will see the ohmage, which you won't be able to make out, but that actually says 0.11. Below that is the voltage reading, which currently is sitting at 000, and below that is the temperature limit I've got set, which is 420 degrees Fahrenheit. If I fire it, the voltage changes and everything behaves like a DNA 40 does. But also the big board, it can also do Celsius. What you do is you go into temperature set mode, and then you scroll down to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, then go further, and then it starts off at the top end of Celsius. I would show you, but to be honest, you probably won't be able to see it. Let me just set it now for... Right, so I'm now in the mode where I change the temperature. So you can see... let's just get that so you can actually see it. That was too slow. Right, hold to change temp. There we go. So 420 degrees Fahrenheit, 410, and that's going to go down. I wish I could actually get this so it's... That's 260, 250, 240, 230, 220, and that'll go to Celsius. And it starts off at 230 degrees Celsius. And then I can go up. So it starts at the bottom of the Celsius, and I can go up to in 5 degrees. So 250, and now off. Okay. So yeah, that's basically it. I was going to set it back to how I like it. I'm used to the DNA 40 in Fahrenheit mode now. So whilst I can have it in Celsius, I've been using them in Fahrenheit, so that's why I'm going to leave it. So yeah, that's back in Fahrenheit mode now. And there we go. So what I've added afterwards as well, I've added some neodymium magnets. Again, not the neatest job in the world, I know, but it works. So I just glued those on each corner there, and I've cut out, here so I can fit them in. So dual 18650, and the battery life on this is absolutely immense. It really is. I can easily get a couple of days out of this. I'm sure, as Gary Dibby and that would make, and more professional modders would make a much neater job of than I've done. But, as I keep saying, this is my first one, so lessons have been learned and lessons will be applied to my next one. But, massive amount of hot glue there holding it all in place. The DNA board itself is actually under here. I originally planned to have it down there, but that's just the way it worked. So there we go. That's basically it. There we are. So I might do something about the screen at some point. Like I said in the video, I might put a vinyl wrap over it. That would neaten it all up. I mean, that always annoyed me to start with anyway. And this is a feature of these boxes. They always come with this moulding mark there. It's injection moulded. So, alright, there we go. Back to the view of me. And DTR asks, is that a tube of lice on the right? D-lice. It's come with my dripper box. It's rum vanilla. It's a French one. I've not tried it yet. I'll probably do a review of them at some point. Elemental says it's rather good. Main thing is it looks safe. Well, it's not blowing up on me yet, so that's a plus, isn't it? Look, Gary, stop saying stuff because I'm not taking over an MFT for you or anything like that. So no. Speaking of which, have you all bought your raffle tickets for the Children in Need thing yet? Because you want to see this go, don't you? Yeah, you want to see me without a beard. Well, we've got to raise £3,000 for that. So crack on. Get yourself over the UK Vapors forums on the competitions and charity events part, and you'll see it in there. And basically, you say you pay your money to it on the site. Send Gary a PM. He'll add you to the list, and there'll be a raffle draw. I think it's now at the end of this month. So, yeah, come on, raise some money, help the kids, win some prizes, get my beard off. All right, that's got to be done. And I think that's wrapped pretty much everything I was going to do. So you're going to put up with me for the next 12 minutes just waffling, I think. We're here now, so we might as well carry on. That screws a belly button, says Mr. Dawn. Yeah. You don't want to know what I did with the umbilical cord. So yeah, anyway, as you can see, I've got a Subtank on this as well. I've got the Fat Daddy Vapes connection on here, and superb connection. It's a spring-loaded connection. It's nicely threaded. It's an absolute doddle to fit. It really is. I do have somewhere in there just a bare 510 connection. Where you've got to solder a pin on the inside, and you just solder a wire on the outside, so you can get it to stick. This is far easier than this. All I literally did with the positive end of the Fat Daddy was I got a length of solder. I trimmed it to about much, I suppose, a couple of centimetres, folded it in half, rammed it down into the tube there, and then put my cable in and just heated it up with the soldering iron, the actual copper, and just melted instantly and formed a perfectly solid connection. So really easy. And then you just hold the 510 post in, and you just screw everything down on top of it, and then screw up on the nut, and that holds it in place. It's lovely. But yeah, this has become my go-to vaping device now. until I build another one or something. You know, it's maybe a different colour box, maybe a different type of box. I don't know. That's the beauty of modding, isn't it? You can let your imagination run a little bit. And I've got to be honest, I've kind of got the modding bug. Not shaved the beard, Matt, but what colour, eh? How do you shave a colour into your beard? Apologies, I'm reading chat again, and if you're not watching this live, you really should consider joining us live. You know, it's a bit more fun. Lyrical while being waxed is unplausible. Plausible. What size is that box? Oh, I couldn't give you the exact dimensions. If you go to modmaker.co.uk, you will see. If you go to the enclosure section. Excuse me, I'm a bit gassy today. You go to the enclosure section. It's the biggest size they sell, and they sell it in green, blue, black, and transparent. I think it's the largest size. So. Which, you know, as you saw, fits the battery holder quite nicely. Yeah, started modding. Visits to the shops will never quite be the same again, says VB. To be fair, they haven't been the same again since I started vaping, because I quite often walked around Poundland and go, you could put a 510 on that. And I never did. Maybe I will. So it's not the first time I've been involved in a mod. I don't know where it is actually. The first mod I ever had, actual made, was a Golden Virginia tin. You know, I don't know where it's gone. Honestly, I don't. It's around here somewhere. Maybe it's in the drawer. Oh, I don't know. I'll dig it out sometime. A Golden Virginia tin, and D did all the wiring. It was basically, if you ever do a search for the Evercool mod, I think it's on a Breakthrough forums. D actually did all the wiring for me and fitted in, but I cut out the hole for the 510 and the switch, so I didn't do much. But you know, I got slightly involved that way. So it's not the first time I've done anything, but it's the first time I've built something completely for myself. Ridian Man is still waiting on that carrot mod from Daz. I'll tell you a fun story. I'm not going to say who it is because she'll kill me. But a vaping friend of mine likes bunnies. Quite a lot, as a matter of fact. And anyway, what we did at a vape meet, we thought we would, me and a friend of mine, we decided to surprise this friend with a carrot mod. And I wish I had it to show you, but I don't. But what did I use? I've got one here somewhere. Well, this will do. There was an Ego battery. It's called the Ego Mega, and it's about this sort of size, but it had a more of a slanted top. And what I did, I got a carrot dog toy, sliced the end off it, and popped the mod in, and presented it to my friend at the vape meet, who suddenly went bright red and very embarrassed, but found it very funny. But yeah, there we go. So there's a little story there for you. Oh, blimey, O'Reilly's 5'2" almost. Okay. Yeah, wasn't that sort of rabbit though. The Alan Lawless is not fond of rabbit. And Lorien likes spiders, apparently, according to Ridian. Why do I get the feeling you might get slapped for that, Sunshine? Okay. Anyway, right. So let's call it a night now, shall we? I'll leave you as always with the up and comings, and I'll see you next week, where I'll be showing yet another DNA 40 thing, and maybe some more builds on DNA 40 stuff. I'm kind of DNA 40 crackers at the minute, as are the rest of the guys in the team. Anyway, I'll see you next week. Cheers, folks.
4Y4 Radio.
Joytech UK are proud sponsors of vapetrails.tv.